There's a call on your There's a call on your name. Woo! Let's go, family. Happy, blessed Sunday. It's your boy Crazy Faith the God in the building, getting ready to drop some quick value for you guys today. Right? Welcome to the Crazy Faith the God channel, where you get nothing but value impacting your spirit every single day, feeding your soul. Right? Let's dive straight into this. So today's topic is actually going to be, if you don't learn from your history, you will make the same mistakes, right? If you don't learn from your history, you will make the same mistakes, right? And this is a very powerful topic because, I had to learn from my mistakes. I had to learn from my history in order to not to make the same mistakes, right? And I'm asking you guys today, are you making the same mistakes that you've been making in your history? Right? Are you still making those same mistakes? Because if you keep continuing to make those same mistakes, you will get the same results. And that ultimately, comes with no growth, no transformation, and you stay stuck. You stay stuck in a bubble. You don't grow, right? If you don't change your habits, change your ways, right? Turn from your wicked ways, you will make the same mistakes over and over and over again until you get it right. And God will continue to keep giving you the same problems, the same tests until you get it right. So, are you learning from your mistakes? Are you learning from your history? Because if you're not learning, it's just going to be a cycle, right? It's just going to be a cycle over and over and over and again until you get it right. Right? Until you get it right. So we got to be able to learn from our mistakes. We got to be able to learn from our mistakes. Right? I was that person. Right? Hard-headed. Right? Super, super, super hard-headed. Right? Don't want to listen. Doing my own will. Right? And I continuously was making the same mistakes over and over and over again, expecting a different result. And I'm like, if I'm not learning from my mistakes in my history, I'm going to make the same thing over and over again. Right? I'm going to keep making that same mistake over and over again. And there's no growth in that. There's no fun in that. There's no life in that. Life is all about expansion and growing, right? And it's okay if you outgrow the people that's around you. That's fine, right? God didn't make a stop loss or a limit for you to grow, or, you can grow. You have my permission to step out your comfort zone. You have my permission to be all that God has created you to be. You don't need to seek validation from no one. Right? You don't need to seek validation from no one, right? And you got to understand, people don't control you. God controls you, right? People don't control you. Only God controls you, right? And it's okay if you outgrow the people that are around you. It's okay, right? If they don't want to grow, you let them stay in on that side of the fence. Right? That has nothing to do with your growth and your transformation and what God is trying to do in your life. Right? We got to be mindful of this. We got to be mindful to keep stepping out of that comfort zone, right? No matter how uncomfortable it may feel. No matter how uncomfortable it may feel, we got to still step out of our comfort zone each and every single day. Right? Each and every single day, you got to fight. There's a fight each and every single day that we got to grow and grow through. Right? It's a fight that we got to, every single day. You got to be ready. When I wake up in the morning, I'm ready to attack the day. I'm ready to put the devil under my feet. Because he has no power. I already know that. You feel me? So that's why every single day you set that intention. You wake up, boom, right? You're ready. You are ready to win the war, right? You ready for the devil. You ready to win that war against him because you already know that it's coming, right? You already know that the enemy's out to still kill and destroy. So I'm gonna stay ready. You feel me? I'm gonna stay ready like this. Like, like I gotta be ready, right? You gotta have your spiritual weapons ready to rock. Because if your spiritual weapons is not ready to rock, what happens is you get defeated, right? You give the enemy and a gateway to have his way with you. You don't want to give the enemy no room possible, right? He's out to steal, kill, and destroy. He has no value. Right? We can't be falling for the same tricks, the same trickery, foolishness. Right? We got to be able to learn from our history so we don't keep making the same mistakes. Right? We got to learn from our history so that way we don't make the same mistakes. Right? That's the only way. That's the only way. If you're expecting something else, that's insanity, right? If you're expecting something else, that's insanity, right? So we got to be able to transform. We got to be able to jump out of that bubble, no matter how uncomfortable it may feel, no matter how uncomfortable the people around you may feel. You feel me? Like, it's time to break out of those chains, right? It's time to break out of those chains. You live in freedom, right? You live in freedom. You are not a victim. You don't have a victim mindset. You are not no victim. You are not a slave. The only slave you should be is a slave of God, right? We are not a slave, right? And people don't got control. Only God does. Nobody is stronger than God, right? So we gotta, when we understand this, we get to move forward in power. We get to move forward in strength and do the things that is of the kingdom, right? We get to do that, right? And it's a fulfillment, right? When you get to operate in the kingdom, when you under God's will and things are going smooth, that's the best way to go. That's the best way to honestly go and grow, right? Anything other than that is chaotic. It's hell. Literally, it's hell, right? So let's just be super mindful of not making the same mistakes as your history. Learn from our history, right? A lot of us are not learning from our history, right? A lot of us are making the same mistakes over and over and over again. And then you wonder why you're defeated. You're wondering why you're not at peace. You're wondering why you are miserable, right? You're wondering why everybody else is around you is happy and you're not. It's because you're probably not learning from your mistakes. You got to be able to learn from that. Because if you don't learn from it, you're going to stay in your misery. You're going to stay. You're not going to have peace if you're not listening. Do you want peace? Are you ready to listen? Are you ready to surrender to God's will? Because if you're not, I'll tell you this right now. You will make the same mistakes over and over and you won't be happy. You won't live that blissful life. You won't have peace. You will stay and toxicity. But the moment we listen to God and we follow His will, things start to change, right? Things start to feel a lot more better, a lot more free. You live in power, right? You connected to God, right? And that's more powerful than anything. I live my day focused on God. I don't care about nothing of this world. And I say that respectfully and humbly. The only thing I care about is God. That's who I'm focused on. I ain't focused on nothing else. God is my focus. I'm praising Him 24/7. I don't care who likes it. That's what I'm doing for my God. Right? And I encourage you guys to do the same as well. Right? Block out the noise. I don't care who's saying what. It doesn't even matter. If it's not about God and advancing the kingdom, it don't matter. Right? We are here for a purpose, for a bigger purpose. We're not here to be playing around. We're not here to be controlled by people. Right? We're not here for that. We're here to be the light, to be the sons and daughters of God, to shine your light, to be an inspiration to the world. That's what we're here for. We're not here for anything else. We're here for God's will. And once you could fight with that and lock into that, it's gonna be a struggle. But once you lock into that, it's all gain. It's nothing but bliss. It's nothing but peace, joy, fulfillment. And His burdens are easy and light. His burdens are easy and light, and you can cast it on to God. It's easy over here. But it's only easy if you following His will and learning from your mistakes. If you're not doing that, forget it. He's going to keep hitting you with that same problem again and again and again. And remember, the Lord gives life and He takes life. The Lord gives life and He takes life. So if you're not learning from your history, you don't want to be that person that, God takes your life because you're not listening. Right? That's why I'm always surrendering to Him. Because I fear Him. I know His power. I know His wrath. I know what God is capable of doing. And that fears me. And I surrender to that each and every single day. Whether if I like it, if I don't care what my flesh is telling me. My spirit of God, that's who I surrender to. That's who I'm focused on. Right? Anytime we are separated from God, our thoughts are trash, our focus is not where it needs to be, right? Our thoughts are just everywhere and it doesn't feel good, and you start to become weak. But the moment you place your attention on God, you get His power, you get His strength, you get His peace, you get His joy. And I encourage you guys to do that. Focus on Him, right? Turn from your wicked ways. Acknowledge the Lord in everything that you do, right? Seek His face. Seek God's face, and you will have rest and peace. Do you know what's the number one key to live in peace 24/7? Do you know what's the number one tool, or what's the number one thing you should do in order to have peace? What's the number one thing you should do in order to have peace? All day. What is it? Focusing on God. That's how you have peace throughout the whole day. The moment you take your attention off of God, it feels like garbage. You feel drained, dead. You don't feel right. Your thoughts are not right. Your thoughts are not aligned. But when you have God in your life, everything is beautiful. Even the things that's hard to get through, eventually you get through those things with the strength and power of Him. And then you get to see the new light. You get to see the transformation. This is what transformation is all about. You got to be able to transform. What are we doing? Are we transforming? Or are we just living mundane and average? Are we getting out our comfort zone? Even if we don't feel like it? Are we still striving to push? We got to be able to push. We got to be able to transform. Right? So, I want to leave you guys with this. If you don't start to learn from your history and fix the mistakes that you went through, if you don't learn to fix your mistakes from your history, you're going to live in that history. You're going to live in the past. You're never going to get to where God needs you to be. You're not going to be able to see the perspective of God and what He wants to do in your life. You will stay in that misery, that toxicity, that unpeaceful situation that you're in until you follow God's will. Right? So I'll leave you guys with that. Take a few minutes to pray with you guys and ask that God will be able to help you learn from your history, help you to be more aware of the mistakes that you're making. And I ask God that He can give you the strength to get through your mistakes, to give you the wisdom to get through your mistakes, the strength to get through your mistakes and actually learn from it and become better into the person that God needs you to be. Right? Thank you, God is done already. And thank you for our crazy faith, Lord. Thank you for our crazy mind faith, right? Thank you, God, for our crazy mindset of faith that's actually allowing us to push through and get closer to you, right? That being said, it's your boy, Crazy Faith to God, on the way out. Nothing but love. Hope everybody have a blessed and a beautiful Sunday. Nothing but love. Crazy Faith, I'm gone. Let's go.